Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Life Uncut. I'm Laura.
I'm Brittany.
Hi, Brittany.
I can't believe
Monday.
I actually can't believe we just spoke about that. Laura's going to a rave.
I'm going to a rave.
Who actually are you?
I'm going to Fred again. It's not a rave. I mean, it's like rave-ish.
Fred again is as ravey as it gets in Australia. That's a rave. Fred again is a mosh pit rave where people are on pingers the entire night.
No, it's Tuesday. No one's doing pingers.
Oh, you're so cute. People that do pingers don't care that it's a Tuesday.
Also, my kids are going on a P&O cruise with Matt and their mother. I don't even know. Have I told you guys?
You have said that your mother-in-law is moving in, but she's officially in.
She's like in. Like she's so in now. She's so in now that I feel like I'm being replaced already. When Matt went to Vegas, Ellie came down to like give me a hand with the kids, but also like she came down with 7 boxes. So she moved in then and she's not leaving now. She's in forever.
Well, she's leaving. She's going on a P&O cruise.
Her and Matt. So her and Matt on Tuesday, which is when this will come out, are leaving tomorrow and they're going on a P&O cruise together and they're taking the kids and I'm not going. And things getting weirder by the second.
That's the dream. You get 10 days at home alone with no kids, no husband, no noise, no
7
mess.
days.
7 days. No
to go to a rave.
And you're raving. The second they've gone, you're going to a fucking rave.
Same
like you
day.
are actually out of control. I said no to the rave. Somebody asked me to go and I was like, I could think of nothing worse. And Laura's like, I'll go.
To be fair though, if the kids were here and Matt was here and my mother-in-law was here, I wouldn't be going to Fred again. But then the opportunity came, the tickets are so hard to get. And I was like, you know what? My kids are not going to be here. And so that is where I will be. I have no reason to not live this life anymore. And
I'm
so
really
off I
happy
go to rave away
So now
on a
do you
Tuesday
have-
night.
We've got to record Wednesday morning, don't we?
Woo! I'm going to
We
be.
just come straight from the rave.
I'm going to
Don't
come
go
straight
home.
in, roll
Don't-
in. You will know on Thursday if I've had much sleep or not.
Can we just stop and make a comment actually? On Tuesday's episode last week or Thursday, whenever, I don't know. Last week I made a joke, said trends are in and trends are out. Eyeshadow's out. Keeshia had a lot of eyeshadow on. Trend that's in is looking tired like Pete Davidson. I made the joke that Laura is going to be like hitting the runways every day because she always looks tired. Man, the people out there that cannot read the room and get a joke. If you actually looked like that, Laura, I couldn't make that joke because then it's not funny.
I'm so grateful to everyone standing up for me. I have
are
been
not.
so abused as a mother. I'm so beat down. I'm so tired and I look it.
I literally had to write to someone and I was like, it's not funny if I have to explain this. I was like,
No. Okay. The thing about our relationship though is like we have been doing this podcast for like 5 years. We are literally like sisters now. And you know, you can be so mean to your sister, but no one else can say the mean thing that you say to your sister. And you don't even mean it because if it was true, you wouldn't say it.
Exactly. It's not, and literally a week ago I said, you've never looked better, but people don't listen to that, do they?
Well, that doesn't make fun content. Don't be nice to me. Be mean to me.
Well, exactly.
Treat me king.
Anyway, I'm cancelled because I told you look tired.
Something I wanted to bring up, which was on our social media at the moment. We spoke about it on Thursday, and I know it's really lowbrow. It is so unbelievably lowbrow, and I feel like we should have moved on from it when we spoke about it on Ask Uncut. But I'm back here and I'm bringing it back again. Okay, one of the questions last week, which to us seemed so fucking obvious, the answer. It was around, do you pee in a pool, right? I know. Did I warn you that it was lowbrow?
Wow, we really are going back there.
Okay, but it ended up getting polled and like this just took on a life force of its own. And it turns out that 20% of you, 20% of you
dirty rat bags.
dirty. 20% of you are getting in pools
And we.
and just doing your business in there. And we are all shooketh. And there are so many people now who are going to rethink any time they get into a pool because of all of y'all.
Yeah, getting into a pool in Bali is a really big life decision for me. Like I have to weigh that up with the humidity, how hot I'm feeling, am I dehydrated, how much do I need to get in that pool because it is a cesspit.
Yeah. Well, that's what we've all learnt now. It's 20% we. 28%. Sorry, producer. I wouldn't want to rob 8% of you. It's 28%.
Also, do you know, this reminds me, I remember reading something about the pools in Vegas and they're actually the worst in the world. Not only are they but they're full of semen, they're full of drugs, everything.
Sounds like a rave. Fred again.
It's your Tuesday night. It's what you're That's what you're going to do on Tuesday night. No, but the Vegas pool's apparently like the worst literally in the world.
I don't even think
There's an STI floating on the top, just like floats by.
Don't even think I need the statistics on that because to me that sounds like, yes, I would agree 100%.
Has Matt come home a different color from being in Vegas?
He's recovered now. He came back really sad. You know, when you've been just giving it a nudge consistently and you've been not eating well, you've been drinking, you haven't been like
come back really sad.
behaving yourself. And when I say that, I mean like just not taking care of yourself. And then you go through that anxiety for like the next week. So he came back and he was just a little bit sadder than what he normally is. And now he's feeling better and he's off on a piano cruise tomorrow. Which
tough life, man.
I know. Who is this guy? Who does he think he is?
He's just holidays.
With his mum.
Yeah, but that's very clever because he's, I'm so good, I'm taking the kids. You're also taking a babysitter. I can do the math. 2 + 2 is 4.
He's heading away with his co-host on his podcast, Ash, who's also taking his kids, and they're going on like a little family trip. And I'm the only one who can't go because work has coincided for me at a time because the thing with the cruise is, right, like it's got a time that it leaves and it's got a time that it arrives. You can't just join that holiday. So unfortunately for me, we've got some big things happening this week and I wasn't able to go on the cruise, which means I am home by myself.
The funniest part is I was like, hey, Laura, we can definitely move that stuff around so you can go. She's like, no, don't tell Matt that. I want to stay at home by myself.
Because this is the first time since having kids. Like, I mean, Marley's almost 5. It's the first time in 5 years that I haven't been with my children, but I've been able to be at home. Like usually if I have a night away from the kids or some time doing something, I have to be away. Like I've gone... I don't know. You're never ever at home in your own house away from your children. They're always there. Yeah. And so this is like a week where I get to do all the dumb things that I want to do. And I'm not talking about going to raves. I'm talking about like cleaning the pantry and like resorting towels.
On a Tuesday she raves. On a Wednesday she does the pantry.
Balance.
The life of Laura Byrne.
# balance. I will capture it all on social media for you so you can really come on the roller coaster for this next week of my life.
So you know how last week we were talking about those trends? The eyeshadow trend and the baggy eye trend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still fed. Okay, yeah, I remember.
There's another trend that I read, and I don't know if I'm just being fed this shit now on my algorithm. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, Instagram knows that I like plants and you like trends.
Oh yeah. Speaking of the plant, my plants are thriving. Anyway, another story. So I have been waiting for so long. I've been really lazy, and I was like, finally, it's my time. I booked in last week, and I went and got laser hair removal because I have been like a wild animal for a very long time. Don't care. The hair's there, whatever. But
I've always front, back and crack.
Yeah, I've always wanted it gone, but I never could be bothered, right? So I just do a wax every now and again, but then when you wax, you got to let it grow back. You got to come down the sides.
I mean, I think we've spoken about it once or twice, but it shocks me. I'm so deeply shocked by it every time we do discuss it that I feel like I need to bring it up. Britt can do a front to back full crack
Minutes.
Wax. Like she can get in there, slap that thing down, rip it off, and she has waxed her entire
Hoochie.
Front to back.
The hooch.
Hoochie mama.
Hooch, front, back and side.
She just can do it and it doesn't affect her. It's
like... But you make it sound like you're like, and the crack. Spoiler, my crack's not that hairy. You make it sound like that's a real like venture.
Must be nice. No, but there's no way in hell.
Minutes. I've got it down to a fine art. It is an art form, by the way.
There's no way in hell. If I tried to wax myself, I'd rip off half a labia. It'd be a cheaper labiaplasty.
Yeah,
but
you would. Come over to mine. I'll do the labiaplasty for you. No, so I went and got my laser and then I walked out the door, literally, of the laser place. I walked out the door, scrolling on my phone, and the first thing that popped up is this new trend. Big, bold letters. Pubic hair is back.
I saw this.
It just hit the Paris runways, fashion, these like see-through dresses, and then these big bushes. What am I going to do now?
You'll be fine. It'll just come back again.
It's gone. It's dead. It's lasered. It's gone.
Laser doesn't take that well. Like you've got to do several sessions. It'll just come back a bit sparse, like Ben's beard.
So now it's just going to be little spikes that poke out and it's not going to be a bush. Well, I did some further investigating. Have you heard of a merkin?
I have.
So for those people that want to be in fashion, I've got a picture here for you, Laura.
It's a stick-on bush.
Yeah, for those people that want to be in fashion and have a bush and you've lasered, you can have a merkin.
You can stick it.
Look at that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry.
It's the raves calling.
I've got to go to a rave.
Thinking of purchasing this all one for the fashion summer.
I can't wait. I have one already. I don't need to purchase one.
This one has a mohawk.
No, that's not a mohawk.
It's a skunk. It looks like a skunk has died.
It looks like a small animal. Okay, I'm not against this though. It is aggressive to take something that is a fad, i.e. being hairless, so stringently that you're going to have it permanently removed. Because I remember, I will never forget when I was like 18 years old and I decided to like shave it all off and there was nothing left. And I grew up in a household with a mum.
a shaving rash.
No, I don't get a shaving rash. I'm fine.
Oh, don't
No
you?
stubble. I'm good. But like I grew up in a household with a mum who had full bush and was like very happy to walk around the house. So that was my only reference point of what, and like a single mum, you know, anyway. Full bush, right? And then I remember her walking in on me in the shower when I was like 18 and she was like, what have you done? Like, why did you do that? And I was like, Mum, this is what all the kids are doing. It's in now. Like no one has what you've got. Sort it out. But now I'm thinking that's a very drastic measure to have everything lasered off when it could come back round. And maybe it is. And I know that there's going to be people who are like, no, keep me looking prepubescent. And other people will say, no, I'm ready to just embrace all the hair.
Look, I thought about it. I was like, do I cancel my further laser clinic appointments and embrace the bush? But it's not for me. I've decided, I've slept on it. Not on the bush because it's gone, but I've slept on it and the bush is not for me. I'm happy with the wax. I'm happy with the laser. I'm happy with smooth. So that's my decision. I'm going against the grain, against the fashion.
You're really not though. You're not. I would say most people have some sort of maintenance down there.
You can't wear a bush out as an outfit either. Like a bush isn't an outfit. Pubic hair is not a substitute for pants. Like it's I'm sorry.
No one is wearing it as a substitute for pants.
That's why you can buy a merkin. Have you not seen the Paris fashion show?
I have seen it, but it's because
bad.
it's controversial that's why people are doing it, not because it's actually like next summer's, new accessory is your pubic hair.
I think it is.
I don't think it is, but also it means I'll be well in fashion because I've given up. And so when I get to the beach, what I do now is try and tuck it all back in.
I remember.
Also, we should stop being so offended by pubic hair. It's just pubic hair. Who
cares? But I do remember when you
touch
papped,
grass.
You got papped at the beach at the start of summer, I remember. And you were like, oh my God, I didn't know the photographers were there. And all my pubic hair was out. And I was like, it's fine. Then I looked at the photo and I was like, oh no. No, it really is.
No, that actually wasn't the case. So I know what you're referring to. And this is so long. No, it's actually, you've really deviated.
Remember then I screenshot it and drew pubic hair on it and sent it back to you.
This is true. No, you've really deviated. If anyone wants to go and Google this, Google Laura White Bikini. I think that's what it was. I was pregnant with Marley at the time and I didn't know the paps were there. And I didn't have any pubic hair. I was a bald snatched eagle at the time, but I had dropped coffee literally right at the front of my crotch and then I'd gone swimming. So it was just a bit brown. Anyway, in the photos, it literally looks like as Keisha's looking it up. In the photo, it looks like I have a runway strip,
Show me.
Which everyone in the comment section on Daily Mail.
That looks hot.
Yeah, it's fine. Like I'm not offended by it. It's fine. It's just the fact that it's not what it looks like it is. I wanted to yell it from the rooftop. That is not. Anyway, I don't care. Just go Google it, guys. You can see it all for yourself.
Also, that was definitely not the pubic pap photo I was thinking of. There must be a multitude. There's probably next to your only feet page. There's probably a pubic pap.
All right. Well, something I wanted to talk about. I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is going viral at the moment. Now, she's like an eyebrow, speaking of hair, she's an eyebrow beautician. Right? This woman.
Yeah.
So she's posted something, a DM that she's received from someone who's not a client, but a friend of a client. Okay, this is what it says. Julia, hi. My friend Hayley is getting her brows done with you. She has an appointment tomorrow at 5 p.m. and I wanted to ask you to give her the worst eyebrows of her life. I'll pay you triple the price. Better yet, make them as thin as possible since she's trying to grow them out. The problem is that today I found out that my boyfriend cheated on me with her on my birthday in January, and I'm really hoping for your female solidarity. Then Jewel Brows, who's the Instagram handle that is like the one who has posted this, she said, I left the three of them to deal with it because it's none of my business. But if a friend of mine had asked me to do it at a higher price, then I would definitely have said yes. P.S. However, I hope this girl also thought of a decent revenge for her boyfriend. I love that this has gone it's had 1 million likes so far, which in terms of like comments and shares and whatnot, it has gone absolutely rife across the internet. But I think it's very interesting that the person who has written this is seeking revenge on the friend rather than seeking revenge on the boyfriend.
Well, she might be seeking it on the boyfriend too. We don't know that. But That's pretty savage. It's pretty low. Like, it's one thing to cheat. It's another to go for a woman's eyebrows. It's like the cheating's here, but the bar's really low. If you're taking off a woman's eyebrows, they never come back the same.
They never come back
We
the
know
same.
that from
the
when we ever
90s did
plucked
me
them as a-
dirty.
Exactly. Like, I would never. I don't have it in me to do something like that. I would feel genuinely,
do.
and I'm not saying this, I would feel too guilty. Even if someone's cheated, I still would feel too guilty. I know, it's gross. I hate
backbone.
it. Wish I could be a mole. Wish I could take bitches down, but I can't. I mean, we've seen that in my life. I can't do it. I can't take people down.
I think that this is creative genius. I want to be inside her evil mind. I think that
I want
this
to be
is
inside her. This is hot.
Well, this to me is like, okay, I know that we should say you don't go after your friend and don't go after the female in that equation, because at the end of the day, the person who is really in the wrong is the guy. Like, he's the one who made.
They both are. No,
But if it
they
is-
both are.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to cheating, that there is the instance of when the other woman is a friend, that's when the betrayal is so deep, right? That's when it kind of, that's when my opinion on it changes. Because normally I would say that often as women, we don't go after the guy in the equation, we go after the other female. And that is a misdirection of our anger. But when that other female is a friend, then I think both parties need to take some of the consequences for it. Is it okay to enact revenge by something as superficial as eyebrows? No, it's not. But also, like, sometimes in life you need to feel as though you have a little bit of control over a situation. I think that this is pretty fucking harmless.
You think that's not harmless? You ruin her life.
I would do this.
Would you?
Not now, but yeah, in my 20s, absolutely.
What about now?
Okay, the only reason why I wouldn't do this is for the fear of getting caught, not because I was sorry. It would be for the fear that someone would post on the internet like this.
But actually name you. Laura Byrne
Julia,
tried to
yeah.
wipe off Brittany Hockley's eyebrows.
Take them off. Also, the nice thing though is that this person is going to know, because this has gone so viral now. The friend is going to have seen this.
She's going to know how close she was.
She's going to know how close she was.
What would be your revenge if I had hooked up with Matt? Which obviously, guys, never going to happen.
Oh, I'd destroy your
Hypothetical.
career. I would destroy you.
But that's destroying your career.
I would also destroy Matt.
It'd be great
To be
content,
fair,
though.
if you hooked up with Matt, I think it would have destroyed our career anyway. I don't think we'd still be podcasting.
No, it's like Vanderpump Rules. What do they call it? Scandal Novel, because it's a pun. Don't worry. But it's
Was that even right?
Scand Novel. Tom Sandnovel.
Scandival.
Scandoval. Scandoval. I'm Scandoval.
Scandal because he cheated with Raquel, who has now changed her name to Rachel.
Yeah, because her whole life's been ruined.
But
You would
Ariana's
change.
come out on top. She's thriving now.
but of
and
course
Laura,
she
that would be
is.
you in that situation. You'd be sailing into the sunset of the scorned lover.
Yeah, the person scorned always comes out on top.
Also, that TV show, the ratings have never been better. So maybe if you do hook up with Matt, the fucking downloads, woo!
And Tom's
Through the roof, baby. But I don't want to have to hang out with you every day. I'll do it with Keeshia.
Tom's life. Okay, I'm changing it. Keeshia cheated with Matt. I've changed.
We're fucked because I don't want to go back to editing this podcast.
All right, fucking hell. If you guys have done anything hectic revenge-wise, tell us.
What is the down, dirtiest, I don't even know what I'm saying, but what is the worst revenge thing that you have ever done to an ex?
Are we accepting illegal things?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because we'll keep-
anonymous.
we will keep you totally anonymous, but if someone's cheated on you, I want to know what is the worst thing you did to get back at them, because that is some spicy shit. Do you know, I was just too pathetic. I was too scared I'd get caught. The worst thing I did was what I did to my ex-boyfriend. I was literally just about to name his full name then. I was just about to roll off the
To
tongue.
my boyfriend, John Smith.
Still run into him every so often. I snuck into his house, stole his passport. I needed his signature and I needed oh my God, everyone's face just dropped.
Because it's
Guys.
actually identity theft and illegal.
Okay, look, if you haven't heard this story, I told it a really long time ago, so I'll tell it again. I bought tickets to go to the Philippines with him. We were going for my girlfriend's wedding, and we'd been together for a year and a half, and I was deeply in love, and the bastard kept cheating on me, which I should have learnt my lesson by then. But anyway, he cheated on me again. I found out about it, and he wouldn't sign the paperwork to have the flights transferred over to my girlfriend Kaya. So we were flying Cebu Air, which if you're flying Cebu,
Don't.
it's a great airline because they allow you to transfer flights into a new passenger
Oh,
name, which
great.
most airlines don't let you do, right?
I've flown with them before and everyone clapped when we landed.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not a sign for their marketing team.
I was grateful that we survived as well. So really I did him a favor. Anyway, we'd broken up. I wanted to change the flights over. He was trying to get us back together and he was like, I'm still coming. We're going to go on this trip. And I was like, you're a narcissist and
You're not
this is
coming.
so unfair. Anyway.
In me or on
and
the flight.
I had also paid for the flights. So I called up his friend. This was like, I knew he was at work. I called up his friend who was his housemate. And I was like, look, there's some stuff at the house that I need to get. I don't want to get it while he's there. Can I come in and pick up my stuff? And he was like, yeah, sure. So I went to the house. I knew exactly where the passport was. I took a photo of the passport because I needed it to be able to transfer the flights. I forged his signature on the documents. I submitted it to Cebu. This is more than 10 years ago. Motherfuckers don't come for me, huh?
That law that Laura made up.
It is not a made up law.
It's been 10 years. I'm safe. I
10
murdered
years.
someone, but it was 10 years ago.
What are you going to do about it? And so me and my, by one of my best friends, Kaya, we had an amazing time in the Philippines. We flew Cebu.
But did he know?
and-
Did he try and turn up to the airport for the flight?
Yeah, he tried to turn up for the flight. Couldn't get on, could you?
Like,
This is genius.
Yeah, he deserved it.
You paid for it too.
Identity theft.
I paid for it.
Yeah.
He cheated on me and he wouldn't come. You owed me that.
Can I tell you just to really show you how different we are? My revenge on the sociopath that had a double life that was marrying someone else simultaneously for 2 years. You'd think I would want to do something like that. I took all the toilet paper from his house so when he did a shit, he couldn't wipe his ass. That was as bad as I got. It's
pathetic.
pathetic.
It's pathetic.
Can you
Be
imagine?
better.
Can you imagine me running now with toilet paper like, wah, ha, ha, like I've done the most
Were
evil.
you 14 when he cheated on you? How old were you?
I was a grown woman.
I've just
just
realised
don't
a revenge plot that we should have all done, and I am not saying this publicly. So
Yes, you are.
if you,
You're on a podcast.
if you tear, remember my friend Jake who got to the airport same time
Yeah.
as you, Britt, and he couldn't get on the flight because his passport had a slight tear in the picture.
Tear it.
Tear it.
Rip a passport up.
Guys,
They
we're
can't
not.
prove it's you.
Well, they
Piss in his
can.
pool.
Could have done that to his passport.
Guys, we're not encouraging you to rip someone's passport. No.
Some of them deserve it. Some of them deserve it. Okay. Some of the behaviour that people do to each other in relationships is worthy of not being allowed on a
I
flight.
agree with you, producer Keisha.
No,
but
I don't.
The last thing I want to say in this is that, and I'm going to take it seriously for 1 second. I think it's very important to remember that if you are on the shitty end of being cheated on, don't enact your revenge on the other woman because 99% of the time it is not their fault. Even if you think they're a temptress, which I hate that word because it's not even a real thing. Even if you think that they're the one that's like, that they have played a part in this, it
I'm
is.
sorry, I'm still laughing at temptress.
I know. How old
Were
am
we
I?
in ancient Greece?
But even if you think that they are at fault for whatever has happened, like the buck stops with the person that you're in a relationship with cheating on you. It is their responsibility to not give in to whatever kind of fucking wild urges that they had. That is where your revenge should be.
Sorry, they don't
aimed.
deserve to have their eyebrows, okay?
I actually disagree.
They can do a month hairless, like
It's
a cat.
not a month. It doesn't ever go back the same. So we know how addictive the online world is, right? TikTok, Instagram, online shopping. I'm trying to think of what else I do online.
What
I'm
else is online?
Pornhub. There's a lot of addictive online websites. But there are 6 people in the United States that feel that there is something else very addictive online. Now, there's a class action lawsuit, which I don't actually know what that means. I don't know why that's different to suing, but it's American. There's a class action lawsuit against Match Group. Now, Match Group is the parent company of a multitude of online dating apps. So I'm talking Tinder and Hinge and The League. If you don't know what The League is, I looked it up.
I've never heard of The League.
The League is a dating app that is, I think it's on par with Raya. So you know how Raya is that like very elite, exclusive, wankfest dating app? Well, it's a version
I love
of
that you say Wankfest and it's where you met Ben.
100%. I can still say it's and Jordan, but I can still say it's a wank fest. I always have. It's embarrassing. I hate saying I was on it, but I found
It
love.
works.
It works. The League is like an American version of that. So it's very elite and you have to pay for it and it's exclusive. And like I said, it's a wank fest. Anyway, these 6 people from around America are taking this lawsuit because they're basically calling bullshit on these apps. They're saying that this is actually designed to be addictive and designed to take our money, designed to keep us on. The claimants have accused Match of having a predatory business model, which is a pretty hectic word, right? That's like a hectic statement, a predatory business model, and using recognized dopamine manipulating product features to get people addicted to their apps. Basically, they're saying that their apps are gamified.
I think this is interesting because firstly, Bumble hasn't been included in this. It's only Tinder and dating apps that come under the Match Group. But this is the first time, and on reading this, part of me goes, it's silly for this lawsuit to be raised, but the other part of me really started to unpack how maybe online dating is such an addictive thing. And I know that in some sense, I'm like, okay, I think people need to take responsibility for the things that they are engaging with online, but dating apps and the way in which they keep you engaged, they keep you swiping, they minimize your matches so that you will keep coming back to find, okay, well, who have I matched with now? And this idea, exactly what you said, Britt, of it being gamified, how that could be seen as problematic. I do think it's an interesting thing to unpack.
Well, the lawsuit goes on to say, harnessing powerful technologies and hidden algorithms, Match intentionally designs the platforms with addictive game-like design features, which lock users into a perpetually pay-to-play loop that prioritizes corporate profits over its marketing promises and customers' relationship goals. I mean, shock horror that somebody is saying that someone's prioritizing money over someone finding love. We get that. It's definitely a business. Match Group have come back and said we deny that, which obviously they're going to do. I don't know how I feel about it. I understand that there are addictive natures of online dating apps, and I also understand it's a business. Of course, they're trying to make money. There does have to be some level of responsibility on us, I guess, as the consumer, as the person that's on the dating app. I say that because there are so many different dating apps now that you don't have to pay for. There are free ones. There are ones without all the razzle and dazzle. It's up to you to a certain level to decide what you do and don't want to do and what you do and don't want to pay and how far you want to go. And I say that because you look at the most addictive things in life. I'm talking sugar, the pokies, gambling, but you still are in charge. Like those carrots are being dangled, but there's got to be a level where you say, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore because it's a problem for me. Because there are plenty of people that don't have that addictive nature to dating apps. Is it a habit? Absolutely. Do you want to like wake up in the morning and open your phone and scroll, see what matches you've got? Yeah, for sure. But there's a lot of people where that's habit because they've been on it for years and it's not necessarily addiction.
Absolutely. Okay, not everyone who uses dating apps is addicted to dating apps. That would be a crazy thing to say. In the same way that people who use pokies, not everyone is addicted. But I do think that there is validity in this conversation. Do I think that they're necessarily going to win the court case? I mean, only time will tell.
Probably in America.
Only time will tell. But I do not discredit that there are apps like Tinder and their main objective is not to get you a boyfriend. It is to get you to use their app. They're not in it for the self-consciousness of like, oh, we want everyone to be happy and in relationships. They're doing it because it's a complete business model. I think the part of this that I do agree with is the visibility and the conversation around how addictive they can be. And the reason why I think things like gambling, things like drinking, like doing drugs, whatever it is, whatever any other addictive type of, even social media, the reason why I think that they're different is because the conversation has already been had and there's legislations and there's procedures in place to try and minimize harm that it has on the users. Whereas when it comes to dating apps, I would say for the majority of people, they're not doing harm, right? But there must be a small population who are using them, who are trapped in a perpetual paying loop where they are not getting the fulfillment or they're not getting the real life relationships and connections that they so deeply desire, but they are still being drip fed all of the reasons to stay on the app. And that's why they've become addicted to it. So, I mean, I do agree with you, Britt, that we do need to take responsibility, which, yes, I mean, it seems superficial and it seems crazy that people would talk about being so addicted to an app that they would file a lawsuit. But at the same time, we are speaking from the privileged position of people who have never been addicted to something. And so I think if you are in that space and you are someone who is so deeply addicted to dating apps, it's kind of unpacking how that happened to you is a really interesting thing to look at.
I mean, of course it's a dopamine hit, right? Like how many times have people said, and if you're being honest and you think about this now when I pose this question, how many times do you go on a dating app because you just need to pump me up? You're like, oh, I just want to get some matches and feel good. I just want to talk to someone. So many people go on apps to talk to people with no intention of meeting up because they want to get a dopamine hit and some validation and they want to feel good for whatever reason. They want a compliment. I don't know whose responsibility that is because if you're saying, okay, dating apps are made to be addictive and game-like, for sure. Think of when you go swipe on Tinder. How many of your friends are like, can I play? It's like a game.
Totally.
Can I play? It is like a game. But then are we supposed to attack Match Group or whatever, whoever we're talking about? Are we supposed to attack Tinder for making a situation that we're going to do anyway. We are going to go online dating. Whether online dating looks like a list from top to bottom of people that you can pick, or online dating looks like a swiping game, what they're trying to do is say, you know what? Yep, let's make it fun. Let's make it engaging. Let's make you want to do it more. Is that the worst thing? Because I don't think it is. I would rather have fun with my online dating than it be a chore where I've got given a list of 50 people and I just scroll down and have a look at their age and their location and then pick one.
Well, I would argue that yes, because the thing is that that type of dating does exist, right? So eHarmony, for example, was around long before Tinder was. There's been many dating sites.
Plenty of fish.
And they work on that model. They work on more of a transparency model. They do not have the engagement of something like Tinder, and that's because you are playing a literal game.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same reason why things like Candy Crush or whatever else become popular, because, you know, there's a reward system that's attached to it.
Snake 2 and 3.
Yeah, but the thing that's different about online dating is that you also, and it's probably the more interesting part, is that you have someone's ego, you have someone's emotion, you have someone's personal investment attached to it as well. So you're not only getting the reward of like, you've got a match, you're also getting the validation, which you get across social media, like the likes, the engagement and everything else. Do I look at online dating and go, oh my God, it's such a big problem, someone needs to stop the mass addiction that's happening? No, and I think if it was causing a deep issue in an overwhelming amount of people's lives, we would have seen more of this earlier, because online dating's been around for so long. But I definitely think that for some people who have addictive personalities, I understand how and why they would become addicted to dating apps. And I also can understand how someone who may have no chance of meeting someone on a dating app can get stuck in that cycle, and that they end up just being in a situation where they're paying endlessly for an app that they are addicted to, but they're not able to transfer those internet connections to real life relationships.
It's made to be game-like because our attention span as a generation is minimal. It's why TikTok existed and crushed Instagram. It's why Instagram started to do these mini reels, because people don't want to have any attention for longer than a minute, 2 minutes. So you want that quick.
But you say this as though people don't want to have attention. People do want to have it. People do want to engage with things longer. We have been groomed because of algorithms and because of the way these apps work. We have basically de-evolved as a population because we have been influenced by the quick succession of content.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's a snowball, whereas they all just have to keep up with each other.
So then who's at fault for that? Is it us and the way we engage with content, or is it the people who are creating incredibly powerful algorithms that we can't possibly work against? Like, I guess why I do think that there is some legs to this is because it happens in every instance of life now. It's across social media, it's across ads online, it's across dating apps. It is unrelenting how much everything within a digital space demands your attention. We did such a good episode on this with Johan Hari last year, all around stolen attention. And he speaks about how you're almost powerless to the types of apps that are out there because they have the smartest people in the world who are creating the most advanced algorithms that exist, and their main purpose is to keep you using that app for as long as possible. And I guess the only reason why part of me comes back to this lawsuit and the idea of dating apps and why I think it's a really interesting conversation to have is because I do think that there is a lot of secrecy when it comes to the algorithms on these sorts of sites. And so no one really knows what it is that's being put into them that makes you want to stay longer. And I guess this idea of it working on a dopamine reward system, on an almost gambling metric where you don't know what you're going to get. It's this roulette of matches, but the algorithm knows. It knows exactly who you've matched with. It knows exactly who's coming up. And it's creating this sort of roulette wheel for you so that you stay on that platform for as long as possible. And I guess when all of your marketing is based around this idea that we're trying to get you off the app and get you into real life, but the actual mechanics of the system are to keep you on there longer, that's where it's like, well, this is false advertising.
But I think of the really specific parts of the apps that gain extra money where they don't have to. When you're in a flurry, everyone knows right now, you're on a swipe fest, right? Pump, pump, pump.
There's
pump,
no more
pump,
people
pump,
left
pump.
in your area.
No.
I hit that quite a few times.
Yeah, no, you're pumping through, right? And you've said no to so many people, because I used to say no to 100 and then yes to one. But you said no to 100 people. Then all of a sudden, your finger's gone too, you got trigger finger, it's gone too fast. You've seen someone that you would have said yes to, but you swipe no. a lot of apps, to go back and find that one person, you have to purchase a go back. So things like that.
Back in the day, you just shook it and it went back.
Yeah, it used to be free, but you could only go back one, right? But
Yeah.
now a lot of them charge to be able to go back. So you either pay to go back or you're stuck on there for an infinite amount of time until you go through them and that person comes up again. So there's stuff like that I think is rubbish. Like, I think that if you want to do an overall pay for an app, whatever, to upgrade, but that little stuff should be included. That's what I think. That's my personal opinion if Match Group's listening.
Yeah, well, when I look back on my personal experience with dating apps, because I mean, it's been a long time since I've been on them, but I definitely
Couple of weeks.
was a prolific user back in the day. I would have used dating apps 10 times what I ever used Instagram or anything else. I used dating apps so often. And when I was at my loneliest and my feelings of wanting to be in a relationship, and, you know, especially post breakup, my use of dating apps skyrocketed because it was the crutch that I used to not feel as alone. And I think that that's where it can become dangerous and that's where it can become addictive, because for some people who are already so lonely and so desperate of human connection, you're exploiting those people for more money in the hopes that they'll find a relationship. So I guess I'm not poo-pooing dating apps. I think that they are amazing, but I do sometimes think that there needs to be more transparency around how they work so that people can make better educated decisions for themselves, because you don't know what you're up against when you're using these things. I would love to know if there's anyone out there who feels or has felt as though they were addicted to using dating apps. I would love to know from a personal experience, what was the situation surrounding it? Like, why did you feel addicted to it? Because I think that there may even be situations where you don't think you're addicted to using a dating app, but if you're on that for 4, 5, whatever hours a day, swiping until there's no one left in your area, there's a good chance that that crosses the line of it being something that you're using to fill a void versus being something that you're actually addicted to using.
See, what I find the most interesting about that is that most of the time when people have an addiction to anything, particularly substances, they wouldn't class themselves as an addict. They think that they're in control of making that choice. Australians, for one, have the worst gambling addiction in the world. I firstly don't think that many people would identify as having it, but it's probably because they haven't thought about the fact that it's actually addictive.
Totally.
You think about poker machines, you think about, I open up my Sportsbet account and you get so many warnings before you even put your credit card details through about how addictive gambling is. And
Are you on Sportsbet?
yeah.
Are you an addict? Are you a Sportsbet addict?
Like, you know, but even on alcohol, you think about
Totally.
there are warnings on absolutely everything that we deem to be a problematic thing in terms of addiction in Australia. There are no warnings on dating apps, and it's probably because people haven't thought about the fact that they actually are addictive things.
Well, I guess the bigger conversation around whether something is or isn't addictive is what's the impact that that's having on your life?
Exactly.
Because when you think about gambling, the impact is immense. The impact is destructive, and it is family, relationship, and personal destroying.
And with substances also.
Substances, anything that can have like a financial impact. When you think about relationships and you think about online dating, it is so arbitrary to try and really reduce down, well, what is the social impact that is having on an individual person, because they're sitting on their phone all day swiping. What, they have less friends, they have less time to chat to their parents, they're not getting out and going to the pub.
Yeah.
Like, the social impact is so difficult to quantify that I think that that's why no one's really sat down and gone, well, how is this affecting us? Except for these 6 people in the States who, I mean, they sue for everything over there.
But it's also because they think that what they're trying to do is get love.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Instead of it being a high from a substance, what they're trying to achieve is a connection with someone. You know, I think back on when I was on dating apps, I didn't realize it wasn't only playing into a reward system, it was also playing on my emotional system of my desire for a relationship. So same as you, Britt, I don't have a problem with the fact that this is how the dating apps work, but I think that we have lacked a huge amount of understanding that they're not as virtuous as what they make out. They make out that it's like all about us finding love and connection, and that's maybe not so much the case. Firstly, they don't make money from that.
Every relationship I've had has been online dating, so...
I reckon they're all about making money.
So
and
do
do you know
I.
what? It's not that bad. And when I think about The Bachelor,
It's a business.
it probably was about making money too.
Of course it is.
Yeah, I'm not shitting. I mean, I met my boyfriend on Hinge, but I just think it's so interesting because up until I read this, I had not at all considered that they were operating in the exact same way as what gambling does. Where did they draw the line with exploitation? You know, if there's been someone who's been spending literally hundreds of dollars because they're given this potential chance of the reward of love, where to Hinge, where to Tinder, where do they step in and go, hey, we've actually noticed that you've been spending a lot of money continuously for X amount of months and we just wanted to check in with you. Is there a responsibility to
never.
them?
Wouldn't that be so? That's such a.
This is my point. Like,
Hey.
if it is an addictive-based algorithm and they're making money off of it, where's the responsibility that they should come into it and go, we're exploiting people
I know,
here.
but also imagine being that person that Tinder reaches out to and says, "Hey, buddy, not getting much lucky, okay?"
Hey,
Yeah,
man,
right?
it's been dry for a couple of
They
years.
could offer them a free month. Like,
We notice that you've spent a lot of money on here and your screen time's pretty high and you're not having much luck. You want to have a little detox? Have some time off? We're going to block you for a
I'm going to
month.
send you some flowers.
they don't have to block them. They could give it to them for free. They could say, we're just going to help you out and not take your money as much. But they're not going to do that because they are a business. And this is what I mean by the difference between, like, I've always thought of dating apps as being this beautiful thing that I'm like, yes, go find love. And now I'm a bit like, oh, hang on.
No, but
You
I
could be
disagree
taking
with
the
that though,
piss.
Keish, because even giving it for free,
It's still keeping
it
them on
still
the
keeps
app.
them on the platform.
Yeah, I
even
was gonna say
rewarding
some-
them with free. That if anything, if someone's addicted to it, that's more of an incentive to stay on an app. So
Yeah,
like,
stay for free for a while so then you keep paying.
yeah, there is no, I don't think that there is a solution to this. But I think the big thing to kind of like end on is that none of us here, we all think that dating apps are great. Like none of us here has an issue with dating apps in total. But I think it is a very interesting thing to be conscious of what it is that you're using and be aware of how things can be addictive because there's so much about online apps where there's lacking in transparency. And I guess, you know, if you find yourself, if you're someone who is in the throes of dating app world and you are constantly on them and constantly using them, maybe every so often having a proper detox and having a conscious thought around, okay, well, what am I using this for? And what am I getting out of this is a really important thing to be just aware of. Okay, it is time for Accidentally Unfiltered. It is your most embarrassing stories. And I think this one is a sweet one. It's fine. So I was texting my therapist after I had been to an appointment to say thank you for everything that they had helped me with. And I wrote, "Thanks, baby." I only meant to reply to the message with thanks, and then somehow the predictive text did me dirty and my fat fingers added baby in and I hit send before I realized. I quickly sent another message trying to cover it up, but there really is no coming back from calling your therapist baby.
You definitely cannot call your
Thanks,
You
baby.
can't call anyone baby that's not your baby. I literally did this the other day to our big radio boss, like the big
You call him
boss.
baby?
No.
Hey, baby.
But I just, you know when you
Tony
just
or
fire,
DB?
DB, the bigger boss. You know when you're just firing messages and I'm really bad for just going kiss, kiss, kiss at the end. Like I just go kiss, kiss at the end. And I actually do it a lot in business emails too. Like I'll be speaking to someone that I have no idea of and I throw a kiss at the end and I'm like, ugh.
This is the problem when you run your own business. You forget what business etiquette is because I do the same. I call everyone lovely. I send kisses in business.
I emoji, kisses. Anyway, so I
I'm
sent
fucking
him.
kissing everyone left, right, and center.
I sent him
Hey,
this,
baby.
I sent him this message and I did 3 kisses. And then I immediately realized. So I wrote back straight away, ha ha ha. So sorry, didn't mean to send that. It was just such an automatic thing. Radio silence, literally. Never heard back from him. I was like, fuck. I've got a meeting with HR this week. So maybe it's about that.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I didn't do it to DB, but I did it to Tony. I called him honey.
Ew, that makes me cringe.
Hi, honey.
Okay, I've got one.
Thanks so much, honey.
This one is I want it to be known I'm reading this verbatim.
This is, okay, I don't like the use of this word.
Neither. That's why I said
I do not like it.
I'm reading verbatim. This is what the listener wrote. My partner of 8 months absolutely loves eating the puss. And who am I to deny him? Anyways, one time he was just going for it and I came so hard that I accidentally farted right in his face.
I can't.
Can't
Can't call it the puss.
The puss. He gave a little snort of laughter and just kept going as if nothing happened. What a guy. Yes, you plow right through. I just covered my face with a pillow afterwards, refused to acknowledge the existence. I'm too old to care now. I think that's brilliant.
You're too old to say the puss.
Yeah, if you're too old to
Call
care,
it what
you
it
too.
is.
What? It's a pussy.
I know.
Puss.
Do you know what? Okay. No, I don't think that there is a good alternate word for a vulva. There's no good word for it. We do not have, like,
Yeah,
you
but
can
I get
sexy
that-
say cock or penis or
and
dick
pussy.
or whatever, but pussy's just not. It doesn't land for me.
Okay, what is it? Hey, go down to my pussy. Hey,
it down.
go down to my vulva.
Sorry.
Vulva
You
doesn't
can't.
land.
I know.
It
I know
doesn't
it doesn't. It doesn't land.
What do you say?
Nothing. I just don't refer
You
to
say
it.
get out of there.
Hurry up. It's been 8 minutes.
Before we go, it's suck and sweet time, highlight, low light. So my suck this week is that I was at the beach with Delilah and it was packed, right, yesterday. All my stuff is revolved around Delilah. I get I don't have a life, people. Don't come for me. I was at the beach with Delilah and I could see her running around to this different area that she never goes to, and she was acting a bit erratic. And Delilah has this thing where she drinks a lot of salt water. And I was like,
she gets spitty bum.
I was like, oh no, she's going to do a poo. And this beach was packed and it was on the rocks. It wasn't sand. It's like the European-y rocky vibe. Anyway, I saw
The
her.
European-y rocky vibe.
And I was like calling out. I was like, Delilah, quick, here. Because I could see what she was going to do. She ignored me. She went up, I reckon, 60 centimeters, 2 30-centimeter rulers away from this man that was on a rock and squirty bummed the whole rock. I've never been more mortified in my life. Like, this was like opening the butthole and it was coming out like a fire engine because she drinks so much water. So I had to go up and I was like, I'm so sorry. And I had a bucket of water and I just tried to like wash it away.
As if he wasn't just going to get up and move. No
He
one
did.
wants to sit
He
next
goes,
to that.
He goes, it's fine. And then got up and walked away. And I was like, I'm so embarrassed. That was my suck.
I would have just pretended like it wasn't my dog.
You can't, it was my dog. She was attached to me at the hip. Everyone knew it was my dog. I couldn't fake it.
It's so gross.
My sweet was literally just having the best weekend at the beach with Delilah. It's so simple. It's so nothing, but we just swim together and we play around and we just have the best time.
That's
She's like
what
my
it's
best
all
friend.
about.
Yeah.
So my suck and my sweet are kind of the same thing. So on Thursday last week, for Tony May, we did this like team building exercise 99. I don't know what that's from, but I've been quoting it for like the last week and
think
no
it's
one can
made
tell
up.
me. It's not. It's from a TV show. Team building exercise 99. Anyway, we had a cute team building exercise for Tony May where we took all our staff because everyone has been talking about wanting to get more piercings. So we booked into this piercing place down the road from our shop. We had like a really cute team night where we went and had margaritas and stuff afterwards. And
You should have had the margaritas first.
no, apparently you can't because then you bleed more. So
Yeah,
you
but
can't
don't feel it.
You can't like have a few drinks and then go get tattoos or get pierced is apparently the rule. We had to sign consent forms, right? You know? Anyway, so we didn't force people to get their ears pierced, but there was like 11 of us. Everyone wanted to get something pierced. And I wanted to get, actually, I didn't know what I wanted, but I got 2 helixes on one side and I want to get it's called the conch. I want to get like the inside of my other ear pierced.
Wow, you're hectic.
Yeah. How old do
You're
I
ready
think
for
I
that
am?
rave. I got 7 piercings. I know how to rave.
I have more than that. I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Okay,
9. I have
don't need to
9,
brag. I got
9
2.
piercings now. Woo! Anyway, I'll tell you what my suck is first. I sat in a
Please,
chair,
please do.
and the woman I was like, I want 2 helixes here in the middle. And she looked at my ear and she goes, do you want me to just stick an earring through the one you already have? And I was like, what? And she's like, do you want me to just stick an earring through the hole that you've already got there? She's like, the skin's a bit closed over, but I can
Did you
stretch
not
it
know
and
you
put
had
it.
a hole?
I have no memory, none, 0, not a single, not even after she told me. I even went
You
back
don't know
through
what she's
photos,
talking about?
not a single iota of a memory of getting my helix pierced. And she was like, it looks like you had it done maybe like, 10 years ago or so. I got an ear piercing
And forgot.
in my 20s and completely forgot about it.
That is funny.
0 fucking memory. So then I went into a bit of a spiral.
Concerning, but funny.
Yeah, exactly. I went into a bit of a spiral around like my brain and my inability to remember things and whatnot. So I was like, yeah, sure, save me some money. So she stuck an earring through that. And then I got my
It
second.
was still went through. She didn't have to re-pierce it.
She just had to stretch the hole. So like I've obviously
Wow.
worn an earring in it for a period of time and I do not remember. I must have taken it out. Maybe it got infected
Maybe
or
you
something.
wanted it to close. I don't know.
Who knows?
Okay.
Who knows?
And what's your sweet? You got
who
25
knows? Who knows
piercings.
anything about what I did in my former life? Then my sweet for the week is just that we had such a really nice team bonding thing, and like, I don't often talk about Tony May on here because I kind of feel like I live 2 separate lives, but I have the most amazing team with that. Like there's such good girls. Like it's such an awesome group of people. We probably a year ago had some real big dramas with staffing and it was just like such a suck and such a drain on me. And considering, when you have a bad culture in your workplace, it just takes the absolute life force out of you.
Oh, I
And
know. And
it took us a little while to get it back to being in a place of being amazing. And it
Yeah.
was going out for dinner the other night and I was sitting there and I was looking around the table at all of our amazing staff and I just had this real moment of like, I'm so proud of this team. It's so, so great.
That's really cute. We need
Thank
to do a
you.
team meeting. A team night with Life Uncut because we actually have a team now.
Do you know what we are going to do? We're going to do a tarot card reading night.
Yeah.
It's been in the works for a while. We're going to get all your fortunes read. And then
Can
we're
we
going to
just
come
talk
back and
about
tell
how
it.
far you have come? Because on this podcast for the last 5 years, I have been pro tarot, pro ghost, pro future,
ghost.
pro everything. And you've been like the biggest skeptical I've ever met. And
come
now
to the dark
you
side.
want a tarot night. Like I almost feel proud, like my little girl spreading her wings.
I'm a good witch.
You've become a good witch.
I want to have my fortune read. Look into a crystal ball. Cover me in crystals in the moonlight.
Well, keep posted for our tarot night. We'll
That's all happening. Anyway, guys, that is it from us. You can follow us on social media at Life Uncut Podcast. You can join the discussion group. Also, please send us your revenge. You know, whatever you did to an ex to get back at them for being a dirty, dirty doll.
We're not encouraging new stuff, but if you've done it in the past,
We want to
send
know
in.
about it. And that's it from us, guys.
Don't forget, tell your mum, tell your dad, tell your dog, tell your friends, and share the love because we love love.